We have this new video just into CNN. You can hear the explosion happening in this video. Listen.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Oh my God! Oh my God! La ilaha illallah! There's a plane, bro! There's a plane!
Shock and panic in that man's voice. Joining us now to discuss this, CNN aviation analyst Miles O'Brien, as well as aviation lawyer Justin Green. Both of them are pilots. Justin, I want to start with you for a second here. Look, this is a very seemingly unusual situation. The plane seems to just fall right out of the sky. What do you think happened here?
I mean, it's a little early to say, what caused it, but what you described earlier was like, it looked like a missile, and I think that's exactly what it was. It was an aircraft that was completely out of control, and it came down like a missile, and unlike the crash in D.C., this happened in a populated area. The D.C. accident happened in the Potomac, and I think that's going to be part of what we're going to be looking at is, are there survivors on the ground? Just a horrible, horrible night for America.
Absolutely, and a horrible night capping a horrible week for this country. Miles, I want to talk about what we've learned tonight, which is that this flight was actually only in the air for about 40 seconds. 40 seconds. And we were just playing the air traffic control audio just moments ago, and they didn't get a response from that cockpit. What do you think that indicates?
This plane was in trouble from the start, Abby. We don't know, of course, yet what was going on. Just a little context here. Medevac flying, particularly with helicopters, in this case, of course, fixed wing, but medevac flying is among the most dangerous sectors of aviation there is because of the nature of the mission. The crews are often under pressure to save a life, frankly. They are oftentimes flying at night in bad weather. They often land in unfamiliar short landing strips. There's a lot of reasons that is the case. So medevac flying is a tough one. This aircraft, the Learjet 55, this one was built in 1981. It's commonly used for this purpose. It's about the right size, has good range and good speed. Now, what happened immediately after takeoff, we of course don't know, and it'll be a long time before we figure this one out, but this is an aircraft that was clearly not responding to the control inputs of the crew. What could cause that? Was there some hydraulic failure of some kind which made it impossible for them to move the aero surfaces? Probably unlikely. It was not great weather on departure. Was there an instrument failure which caused them to lose their orientation? When you're flying through the clouds, you're relying on your instruments to maintain your situational awareness, and it can be very confusing if you lose that. Was there something in that pre-flight checklist that was overlooked that turned out to be quite crucial? We do know this, though. This type of aircraft operating under these circumstances will have a cockpit voice recorder and a flight data recorder. Now, it's a tremendous impact and explosion. We can only hope that they are designed to survive this kind of thing, but let's hope they do survive so we can get some answers as to what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, that will be critical at this stage. Justin, the plane seemed to begin to descend around 1,600 feet.
Right.
What is happening at that altitude?
They're basically on departure. So they're honestly, at that altitude, they should be climbing out and having a relatively normal flight. As Miles just said, though, these flights are almost like angel flights. The people doing them are looking out for the interest of the passenger who's someone who needs medical attention. I think one of the questions in any of these crashes is what kind of medical attention does this person need, and what kind of emergency situation are they facing? Is this just a normal flight, or are they really trying to get this person somewhere so they can get emergency medical treatment? However, as Miles said, this airplane lost control. So whether it's a hydraulics issue, whether it's a trim issue, meaning they lost the ability to control the airplane, I think that's likely what happened here.
Yeah. Just real quick, Miles, there was another incident in 2023 where a Cessna plane went off course and crashed suddenly. That was due to loss of cabin pressure. Are there things like that that could have affected a plane like this on takeoff?
Well, at 1,600 feet, you wouldn't be looking at a loss of pressurization as a cause. This aircraft was barely off the ground. When you consider its rate of climb, it was barely flying. So something very fundamental was wrong. And there have been cases in the past where aircraft have been involved in crashes on departure when the flight crew forgot or didn't go through the checklist properly and forgot to remove certain pieces, covers on the pitot tubes, which are the tubes which measure airspeed. There are, in some cases, ways that the control surfaces are locked when they're on the ground, so that the wind doesn't make them flap around. If you're not careful about your checklist, those things can get omitted. And in both of those cases, if you lose the airspeed, you would lose your situational awareness. You might get disoriented in the clouds. If you don't have the ability to control the control surfaces, that clearly would be a significant problem. So these are some of the things that the investigators will be looking at. Obviously, way too early for me to speculate on that, but those are, if you look at the history, those are the kinds of things that happen in this scenario.
All right, everyone, stand by for me.